What's up, guys? It's Seth here with Activated Performance, and today we're going to talk about 5 often overlooked tips that are going to put pounds onto your squat. Tip number 1 is work on your shoulder mobility. Do you guys have elbow or shoulder pain after squatting? When you're wedged under the bar, do you find that you have to hunch forward and can't quite get your chest up? Those are 2 really big signs that you need to work on your shoulders' rotational capacity. The better your shoulders move, the better shelf you're going to be able to create, and the tighter your upper back is going to be. The better your shelf, the tighter your upper back, the lighter weights are going to feel on your back, the more solid you're going to be under the bar, and the way less likely you are to tip forward underneath a heavy weight. So guys, work on those shoulders. Your shelf is so important, your upper back is so important, and your shoulder mobility is key to being able to optimize all of that. Tip number 2, be deliberate with how you pick the bar. Your squat starts with the unrack, and if your unrack is sloppy, your squat is probably going to be sloppy too. But if your unrack is rock solid, you're going to have a rock solid squat. When you're unracking the bar, you should have everything in your entire body tight before you even start to apply pressure to that bar. Your upper back should be locked in. You should be pulling that bar down hard into you with your lats. You should have a tight, brace neutral torso with a big belly full of air. You should be trying to spread the floor, creating torque from your hips. You should be grabbing onto the floor with your toes. Again, everything should be locked in, everything should be tight, and nothing should be moving other than your hips and knees. When you go to actually initiate the unrack, start by letting your knees come forward a little and dipping your hips and trying to wedge them underneath that bar. Then, just flex your glutes and your quads to stand it up. Nothing should move during that unrack except for your knees and hips. So, guys, get those unracks better. Your squat is going to be a lot better for it. Tip number 3, pack your neck. All the time you'll see guys squatting and their head is moving around like crazy, or they're craning their head up the sky, and lots of times those same people have an issue with tipping forward or an issue with getting loose in the bottom of their squat. So what's the solution? Pull your head back and pack your neck. When you're pulling your head back instead of hyperextending it, you're using your deep cervical stabilization muscles rather than those superficial extensors. You guys can think of your spine like one of those snake toys with all the segments where if you move one end, the other end's going to move in response. Again, it's not a perfect model for your spine, but that's the idea. If your neck is moving around and loose, it's going to allow the rest of your spine to have a little bit more laxivity. If your neck is tight, stable, and braced, the rest of your spine is going to have so much better of a brace. When you guys are packing your neck, you can kind of think of the action as the same as it would feel if you're trying to drive your head backwards into your headrest in your car. Drive your head backwards, maybe think about trying to wrap your traps around the bar, but again, we're not looking up. Just pull the head back, keep it locked in, and don't let it move during your squat. Your squat is going to follow what your head and neck does, so make sure they're locked in tight. Tip number 4, squat down, not back. Yeah, we do need to have some degree of hip hinge for a raw squat, but the old Ripito hip drive or the old multiply back, those don't apply to what we're trying to do if we want a strong raw squat. When we're squatting raw, we want a balance between our glutes and our quads. So when we initiate, we're going to hinge just enough so that we can maintain our torso angle on the descent and then squat straight down, letting our knees come forwards. You're a raw squatter, your quads are going to be strong and we want to use them. So maximize the leverages, let those knees come forward, and let those quads do some work, guys. Tip number 5, last but not least, pay attention to your feet. Your ground contact is so important, and it's going to play a huge role in determining how much force you can apply to the floor and transfer back up to that bar. Everyone loves to overcomplicate the whole rooting conversation, but reality is, it doesn't have to be that complex. All I want you guys to think about with your feet is keeping an even weight distribution between your heels and the balls of your feet. I want you guys to think of having an active foot, which is going to mean trying to squeeze the floor with your toes. And I want you guys to make sure that your feet aren't shifting or moving at all during your squat. So no rocking back in your heels, no rocking up on your toes, and no collapsing down and losing your arch. You guys do that, your ground contact is going to be so much better, and your squat is going to be a whole lot stronger. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you got something out of this, make sure to click like, click subscribe, share this with your friends. There's going to be a lot more content coming, so looking forward to giving it to you.